quick. I'm not going to call on you, but hold the mic.
One of the biggest things is my
Stand up real quick.
confidence and lack of decision making.
Okay. So you were more successful in the past, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do we know each other?
No.
Okay. There was a time in your life where you're doing pretty well, correct?
Yes.
Now, what's interesting is there's no way I could have known that, correct?
No.
Okay. What I mean by that is compared to other people, at one point you're doing way better than most people.
Yes.
Okay. You're not there currently.
No.
So you're a little embarrassed of that, correct?
Yes.
And you're really worried to go get what you want because when you lost it, it hurt really bad.
Yes.
So when you come to the event, you're like, Michael, can you just tell me what it is that I need to do so I can get back to where I was? But the problem is I can't get you back to where you were. The reason we can't get you back to where you were is you don't actually want to go back there again, because if you go back to where you were, and this is the problem you have, you're very fucking smart. Where do you live?
St. George, Utah.
Okay, cool. Now what's interesting is if you go back to where you were, this is the part people don't realize. This is an interesting thing. If you go back to where it is that you were, you're going to wind up back here again. So unconsciously, you keep on wanting to go back to where it is that you were so you can go be successful again, but that plan you did last time got you here. You seeing the problem here?
Yes.
And you're smart, and the reason you're frustrated is that you actually are stopping yourself from doing something smart. So this is how genius you are. And I don't know if you understand the unconscious programming of this. You're a very smart person, correct?
I think so.
You're smart like me. Like the school wasn't your thing, but fucking socially you get shit.
Yeah.
So watch this, everybody. So he's successful for these years, and he's kicking ass, making it happen. Fly in, vacations. Remember these days? Everything's going great. You got money, success, relationships are amazing. Everyone looks at you like a badass. You fucking lose everything. So in here, he's like, dude, that was so much better. I want to go back there. And he's doing everything he can to figure out how to go back, but his brain is like, asshole, listen, don't fucking go back there, because if you go back there, where do you wind up? Here again. So for years, he's like frustrated. Am I getting this right?
You're getting it ridiculously right.
How many other people in this room can relate to this? You've just lost. I've never mentioned this at this event before. I mean, Jason, you get this shit. So it's like, I want to go back, but like, you're like, what the fuck is in my way? What is in my way? But I'll only share a story if it's an appropriate story to share. So I remember hearing this once about this guy that went over to, India. And when he was over in India, there was one of those camps that you go to. And I don't know if this sounds interesting. It'd be hard for me to do, but like, you know those places you go where you don't speak for like 20 days? How many of you have seen that? Like Eat, Pray, Love, they did that, right? Where you don't speak or something like that for amount of days. Well, after the guy left that, he was living in this ashram, right? And he had one assignment total, just one assignment. And his assignment was to close the door at exactly 10 o'clock at night. So because he was so focused, like what we do here, like on getting it and doing the right thing, he sat there at like 9:30 and he prepared himself. Because the guru monk, and this is a guy like a Mr. Miyagi type person, someone that like you want to listen to, right? And he's got this whole thing, and he's like, I'm going to close the door at exactly 10 o'clock, because that's what he told me to do. There must be a reason behind it. So 9:50, he's going to close the door. 9:55, and he's like, I'm going to do this shit perfectly. And this is a guy like you, a successful guy. He's going to do this shit right. I think he was a doctor. And he walks up to close the door, and it's 9:59, 30 seconds, 25 seconds. I mean, this is a big buildup for just closing a door, right? And he's closing the door, and all the people inside, he's in charge of the door. 9:59, 59, close. Click, lock. And at that moment, there's a window by, and he looks out, and he sees this like feeling, like shooting star, and this feeling comes over his body. Like he's like, wow. Oh, that was incredible. And he's got this like euphoric thing that goes through his body. He goes, it's amazing. So the next night, he gets his assignment for the day. Know what he gets for the day? Closing the door. And he's so excited. He thinks about it all day. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to get the euphoric feeling. It's going to be amazing. And he goes up to the door at 9:59 and 30 seconds. He's all excited. He's going to do it again. And he's going to do it again. And he takes the door, and 9:58, 59, closes it, locks it, looks out the window, and nothing fucking happens. So he's okay. I think I might have done something wrong. Maybe I was off by a second. I'll get it right tomorrow. So he asks for that job again tomorrow. So it's 9:59, and he's going to close the door, and he's about to close it at 10, and he's going to nail this thing. 9:59, 30 seconds, 22 seconds, 10 seconds. He closes it, locks it exactly, times it with 2 watches on. Nothing happens. So he's like, maybe I just close the door and don't lock it. So he does this the next day, and he closes the door and locks it, and never gets the feeling back. So he walks up to that monk and he goes, "You don't understand. I did exactly what you told me to do. I closed the door at 10 o'clock. I had the most amazing feeling in the world." The guy goes, "Tell me about the feeling." He told him how great it was. He was so excited about that feeling he got. He goes, "But it didn't happen again." He goes, "Who said it had to happen again? That was that feeling that day, that time, and you can't get that one back. You could just get a different one." And whenever we're trying to get something back, you can't get back what was. You can only create better than. I watched you breathe heavy right there, and I watched that go on, and I watched things trigger in your brain, and you've been worried for a long time about getting something back. And I've realized if we get something back, we're going back where we were instead of going where we want to go. And I know as everyone's listening here in the room, nobody's paying attention, and I'm sure nobody's getting anything out of this. But I know a lot of us want to go back to the way the relationship was. See, what's so cool, if you have a problem in your relationship, you never get your relationship back. You can get an even better one. You can get a different one. You can get a different way of having your relationship in a way that grows and it's even more exciting than what's going on. See, the problem is you can't go get what you want. Your plan makes no sense unless you have a DeLorean. Do you have a DeLorean with a flux capacitor?
No.
So how many years have you been trying to go back in time?
9 years.
Does this make sense?
No. Well, now it's making sense.
You can't go back and get what you had because you'll wind up back here again. But what you can do is move forward and get even more than you had. Never saw it that way, did you?
No.
And I don't mean more money. I mean something different and set it up the way you wanted to.
I'm trying to rebuild what I had.
You can't rebuild what you had. You can build what you want. Is this making sense?
Yes.
How many of you are getting this? If you are, say I am. Thank you. If you enjoyed this video, click subscribe and even hit the notification button right now so you won't miss out on any future videos. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook and visit my webpage for tons of valuable information. Videos, tools, techniques, and all kinds of stuff to help you take your life and your business to the next level. And always remember, the best is yet to come.